Dear students, I have come with the second chapter of financial accounting. In the first chapter, I have explained advantages of accounting, basic concepts, limitations of accounting, all this. Now the second chapter is accounting principles. In that, we will cover accounting conventions as the first module and accounting concepts as another module. And along with that, I will be explaining the cash and accrual basis of accounting. So these three topics I am going to cover in module 2. That is accounting principles, accounting concepts, accounting conventions, cash and accrual system of accounting. So the first module, module 2.1, I am going to explain accounting concepts. Now I want to tell you why we have to have certain accounting principles. See, when we are using financial information, many users are using the financial information. So it should be based on certain accounting principles. So the accounting principles we use for recording financial information is divided into two. One is accounting concepts and second is accounting conventions. So accounting concepts, these are the assumptions on which accounting is based. So we have following are the accounting concepts. One is money measurement concept, business entity concept, going concern concept, cost concept, dual aspect concept or the accounting equation concept, accounting period concept, objective evidence concept, matching concept and realization concept. So I will explain one by one. So the first one is money measurement concept. So you have to remember that this concept takes into account that only monetary transactions are recorded in the books of accounts. See, I told you this is one limitation of accounting. See, if you have a good team of employees, if you have no strikes or lockouts in the company for a number of years, if your employees are working continuously for a number of years, these are all the plus things about the positive things about the organization. But this cannot be recorded or this cannot be communicated through the financial statements. So please remember that this only transactions which can be recorded in terms of money transactions are recorded in the books of accounts. See, for example, if you purchase a vehicle for 10 lakhs, that will be recorded. A vehicle purchase for 10 lakhs because we can convert in terms of monetary transaction. Similarly, if you are paying a liability, bank loan repaid worth 10 lakhs, we can show it in terms of monetary transaction. So these transactions are recorded in the books of accounts. Now, why we are using this assumption is, this assumption will bring uniformity for recording the business transactions. Whoever preparing the financial accounts, they will be using this money measurement concept. So all the transactions which can be recorded in terms of money are recorded in the financial statements. So that is this can be one limitation also, qualitative information we are ignoring from the financial statements. See the the problem between Pepsi and Coke going on for a number of years, the court cases, all this cannot be recorded in the financial statements because this cannot be converted in terms of monetary transactions. Now we are coming to the second concept, that is business entity concept. So this is an important concept. You have to remember that business is a separate identity. The owners are different. Owners are only managing. So their personal transactions will be different. If they are withdrawing cash or stock for their personal use, it will be recorded as their drawings. Their personal transactions will not be mixed with the business transactions. Business transactions will be entirely for the business. So we have to make this distinction, otherwise we cannot get the clear picture of the business activities of the concern through the financial statements. So this concept assumes that the business is a separate entity, separate from the owners. So accounts are also prepared keeping in view this owners are different and business is different. So that is why we are recording drawings. Drawings, when a proprietor is taking goods or cash from the business, we will be recording it as drawings. So this is another important concept, that is the business entity concept. Now the third one is going concern concept. So the going concern concept, you have to remember that, see, when we start a business unit, we have no intention of closing the business unit in the near future. We want to have it everlasting existence. See, when you see the history, or if you can see that universities, they are recorded more than 400 years of existence. Universities are there in India. Whereas business organizations, an average life maybe 100 years, 200 years, all this. So this, when you're starting a business unit, you have to remember that we are planning, or their owners are starting the business unit to have a everlasting existence. They want to continue for a number of years. So this concept is assumed that business unit will continue to operate for a long time. Next is, so on this basis, we are dividing expenditure into revenue and capital. What all expenses for one financial year, this will be revenue expenses. And if you are buying if you are spending money for some more than 1 year of, if you want to get use from that item, then we call it as a capital expenditure. So if you are buying an asset, it will be a capital expenditure. If you are paying for advertising, it will be a revenue expenditure. So this is the going concern concept. One thing is, it has got an everlasting existence. Second one is, expenses can be divided into revenue and capital based on this concept. Next is cost concept. So the cost concept is, asset acquired by a concern is recorded in the books of accounts at the cost price. So that meaning, if you purchase a land for 1 crore, so that land value will appear in the books of accounts at 1 crore for any future transaction. If all the assets, we are providing depreciation because we are using that asset in the business, and every year we will be providing depreciation. So the depreciated value of the asset will be recorded in the financial statements. But if you are expecting an increase or decrease in the value of the asset, it will not be recorded, because only when we'll sell, we will come to know the actual price. That is why we are following this concept. So cost price is used for all future transactions. So change in price of fixed assets, we are not considering at all while recording the financial transactions. The cost price at which it is acquired by the concern will be recorded in the books of accounts. Now the fifth principle is very, very important. We are going to deal that in the third module also. This is the dual aspect concept or the accounting equation concept. So I told you, every transaction has got two aspects. One is receiving aspect and the other one is giving aspect. So you have to remember that if I am going to a shop and I am buying a pen, so that meaning I will get the pen, that is the receiving aspect, but I will make the 10 rupees or 20 rupees, whatever the price to the shopkeeper, that is the giving aspect. So every transaction has got two aspects. So this is so one transaction, when a business firm is incurring, it will have an impact on the asset side and on the liability side. See, if a firm is buying assets, how they will get the money for buying that? Either the proprietor or the owner should bring capital, or they will borrow from some financial institutions, or somebody will give them as a creditors will be there. So either these are the options for getting the finance for buying assets. So one side, if you see the business transaction, it will be capital and the proprietor's capital and the liabilities. And the other side, it's the asset. So this is the balance sheet equation. Assets is equal to proprietor's capital plus liabilities. Because when a firm want to buy any asset, they can buy through the capital brought in by the proprietor or by a liability on the liability side of the balance sheet. That can be a financial loan from a bank or a creditors, anything can be a liability. So this is the accounting equation, and this is the major crux of the balance sheet equation. This is very, very important when you are learning accounting. Now we are going to do the problems also in the next chapter, balance sheet equation. So we can, one more advantage is that any point of time we want to calculate the profit or loss made by the concern, it is possible. So assets is equal to owner's capital plus liabilities, that is the balance sheet equation. So assets minus liabilities will be the capital. Now how you know the profit made by the concern at a point of time? So if the initial capital, say for example, initial capital is 1 lakh. To January 1st, 2020, the capital is 1 lakh. December 31st, 2020, the capital is 5 lakhs. That meaning the firm made a profit of 4 lakhs in the accounting year 2020. So you have to remember that capital is increased at the end of the accounting period compared to beginning of the accounting period. Then it is a profit. So if it's reduced, it will be a loss. So this is another important concept, that is dual aspect or the accounting equation concept. And when we'll do the problems, this concept will be very clear. We are doing a lot of problems with that, and then it will be clear to you. Next one is accounting period concept. So accounting period concept is, if you are not dividing it into short intervals, we will not be able to have a trace of the accounts. Plus, we will not be able to make any comparison, and it should be uniform throughout. So usually accounting information we will prepare for 1 year. But now you know that all the business organizations, they are preparing quarterly results and they are announcing that also, because that will make them easy for comparisons. If they have done some mistake, they can rectify the mistake for the next quarter. If it is showing improved performance, they can make the performance better in the next quarter. So this is important for preparing the financial statements. So usually it's prepared at short intervals. Now the system followed in India is, or they prepare the quarterly results. So it's better for them to take an analysis. They can look at that. They can find out the mistakes and how they can improve. It's very important. So for measuring the financial results of the business, working life of the business is divided into 12-month period. That is the accounting year. We will get the result for one accounting year, and again income for one accounting year is matched with the corresponding expenses for that period. Then we will know the profit and loss also. So this is another another important accounting concept, that is the accounting period concept. How we are recording accounting information. Usually for 1 year, but we are reporting the quarterly results also. Now objective evidence concept. This is very important. If you say that one information, I had spent 10,000 for buying petrol. As a business organization, if I am reporting, the income tax department or the auditor who will come to audit the accounts, they will not accept that. They will ask me for the proof. So I have to show the voucher for that. You know that any organization, if you go that, you can see that if the bill is not raised, the transaction is free. If you go to a McDonald's showroom or KFC showroom, you can see that now with the GST rule and all in our country, it's compulsory that every transaction you have to get the bill. So you have every right to demand that bill. So that bill is a voucher. So if I am claiming that as a business organization, 10,000 rupees I had spent for petrol, the related vouchers I can show that, then it will be accepted evidence by the income tax department and also by the auditor. So voucher is the documentary evidence. Vouchers can be different things. Bank challan, check can be a voucher, fixed deposit receipt can be, counterfoil of payments made, all this can be vouchers. So any evidence you are giving in support of a transaction, it can be bill, it can be Xerox copy, all this. So this will give confidence in the minds of the people. So that is the objective evidence concept. Next is the matching concept. So this matching concept, always you have to remember that how you know the profit for one accounting year. You should know the revenue earned and you have to match with the expenses. So the difference will be profit or loss. So the matching concept says that when you are preparing the profit or loss for the financial year, the income for that accounting period has to be matched with the concerned expenses or the related expenses. So when you are matching these two terms, you will get to know the actual profit or loss made by the concern. So this is the matching concept. Now you have to remember realization concept. So realization concept is, we assume that revenue has been earned. So when a revenue has been earned, when an income is earned, we have to identify that principle, that is that principle, identifying the principle, meaning you have to remember that when the actual transfer of title is happened. See, for example, if you are making a cash sale, immediate, you are transferring the title to the other person, then the income is realized. See, for example, you are going to a shop and you are buying something. If it's a cash sale, you are getting the ownership and you are getting that immediate cash sale. But you remember one thing, you are getting an order on January 1st. But you are getting an order and you are actually delivering the item on February 1st. But if you are getting the payment on March 1st, actual transfer happened on February 1st. So that February 1st we will consider it as revenue earned by the concern. So always you have to remember that whenever the legal transfer of title happened, so that time we will consider it as revenue earned by the concern. This is very important. So on this basis, we will divide the transactions into cash basis and credit basis. So cash transactions we will record and also the credit transactions. Then only the accounting concept is completed. Then only we can know the correct income or the profit earned by the business unit. So this principle explains when we should assume a revenue to be earned. So the principle is when the actual transfer or the legal title is transferred to the other party. That time we will remember or we will record it as the revenue realized by the firm. So it can be cash transaction or it can be a credit transaction. Both we will record in the books of accounts. So this is one module I want to explain, the accounting concepts. So this is very important. And this, based on this accounting concepts and conventions, we are going to do the problems. So the next module I am going to explain the accounting conventions. So this is very, very important. These are the basic principles, accounting principles on which we are reporting we are preparing the financial statements. These are the basic principles. Always I used to remember that when I used to go for a lectures, interview and all, the interview board usually they will ask the basic accounting concepts and conventions. So that level, it's very important. This is the base, this is the principle on which accounting information is prepared. So I wish you happy learning, and remember that this module, you have to give me a feedback, suggestions and all, and you have to encourage me with your valuable feedback. Thank you.